And good morning at 7:04 on this Tuesday, December 10th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome here on this Tuesday morning. If you've noticed outside, a little bit foggy, but it's not, driving is okay, but just be aware, a little bit of fog out there this morning, and we are ready to get started here as we do on Tuesday mornings for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. We'll be hearing from Justin Beasley, the Mount Juliet Communications Director this morning, but first, it's time for today's Health Minute, brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson. Did you know nearly 50% of all heart attacks go unnoticed? These silent heart attacks can happen with either extremely mild symptoms or no symptoms at all. Silent heart attacks are often discovered during routine screenings, and non-traditional symptoms of silent heart attacks include heartburn, nausea, fatigue, abdominal pain, back pain, and shortness of breath. In the days and weeks after silent heart attacks, people report becoming short of breath quickly or have feelings of age-related fatigue. Preventing silent heart attacks before they happen, with the help of your healthcare provider, make sure to get your blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes under control. Exercise daily and eat a heart-healthy diet. If you think you are experiencing a heart attack, call 911 and go to the nearest emergency room immediately. And for more information, visit VanderbiltWilsonCountyHospital.com. All right, as I mentioned, Justin Beasley is going to be with us today, and Justin usually calls in. He is on the phone this morning. Justin, are you there?
I am, Coleman. Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome again. Good to hear your voice.
Absolutely. Always great to hear your voice, too. It is definitely foggy this morning, so if I was like anybody else, I'd leave a couple minutes early.
Yeah, right. And it's what I experienced was not all that bad, but still you need to be aware of it and probably allow a little extra time so you don't have to go as fast. You can sneak up on somebody, and who knows, there may be some heavier patches of fog around, so be on the lookout.
Absolutely. It was last night, too, and, we had some rain this weekend, might have some upcoming this weekend as well, so it's just a weird time of weather in this season, especially in Tennessee. We're a tweener.
Well, what's happened in Mount Juliet that you need to talk about? We certainly, if you had a meeting last night, and we hadn't talked about that, but if you did, we want to know what happened, but we want to know what else is going on and anything that in the immediate past that you need to tell us this morning.
Yes, sir. I think the biggest thing that happened last night at our Board of Commissioners meeting, which I'll say is the only one that we will have this month and the last one of the year, because the next one is too close to Christmas. So our next BOC meeting will actually be January 13th. But don't worry, you'll still get me on Coleman on the second and fourth Tuesday. So nobody be alarmed.
All right.
The joke. But the biggest thing, Wesley Neely, one of our lieutenants, has retired after 37 years of service for the city of Mount Juliet. He is, officer friendly is what he was coined in his early days, and just a pivotal part of Mount Juliet Police Department. You can't tell the story of the Mount Juliet Police Department and not mention Wesley Neely. We had a actual award show Friday night hosted by Joy Church, and we gave out a bunch of awards, and obviously at the end celebrated his retirement, let him come up, say a few words. Kenny Martin, former chief, now city manager, former chief of police, got up there, said a few nice words, and just a really emotional night. And if you remember, the year before we did this for James Hambrick, he was back on Friday. He is one of our chaplains, one of our many chaplains for the Mount Juliet Police Department. So just a really festive night. We also did the same thing for Wesley on Monday in front of the Board of Commissioners and citizens that were invited to that, and passed a resolution unanimously just celebrating his 37 years of service. And, Coleman, me and you like to talk sports, and, our kids look up to a lot of those sports figures, but the real heroes, the real superheroes as our city manager, Kenny Martin, would say, are the ones that put on that badge every day and go out and protect our freedom. So it was a special moment, and I don't know how many ever times you're going to have somebody retire 37 years from a police department of a city that's been in existence as far as being incorporated since 1972. So we think it's a huge deal in the city of Mount Juliet. We're definitely going to celebrate him to the umpteenth degree as he deserves.
Well, that's good to hear. Did you do any business last night?
There was a few talking points on food trucks and a couple of other developments, but nothing substantial. The meeting was pretty short, pretty brief. Art Giles was there, the new commissioner for District 1, and he participated. Remember last meeting, he kind of took a back seat as far as the voting was concerned because he hadn't had a chance to do a bunch of his research. And last night, you had a full quorum, all 5 there and participating, and the way government should work. So we're excited for the new year. Kenny Martin has said to me ad nauseum, 2025 is going to be the best year yet, and we have no reason to believe otherwise. We've got a lot of people in a lot of good places that are doing a really good job, and it's going to be all systems go, and we're excited what we can achieve in the city of Mount Juliet specifically.
Well, when we come to the end of December, most, not all, but most government entities operate on a fiscal year of July 1 through June 30th. We come to the end of December, we're halfway through the fiscal year. How would you, if you could, as our information director, communications director, I should say, tell us how you feel about where we are with our goals for 24-25, and maybe especially as it comes to the monetary expenditures. Are we on track good from the information you've been able to gather?
We absolutely are. I get to spend a lot of time with Kenny Martin, the city manager, and the guy is frugal as can be, and I've given him a lot of credit, as I should, for being in the position to be, have a lot in reserves and to have a economy, specifically in Mount Juliet, where we could have been successful over the last 3 or 4 years when many businesses, are retreating, or many businesses are closing, or many businesses aren't opening up in new cities. That's not been a problem in Mount Juliet. Specifically, I know we've spent, a good amount of money as far as, acquiring Clemens Road to expand City Hall. We bought some green space. We bought some land to expand just our city footprint, knowing that land is going to be substantially more expensive down the road. So with his foresight and, making sure we spend money on the right things, and, I'll say it, last night during our city commission comments, we were talking about Wesley and the great job that he's done. And Kenny Martin said those LPR cameras are the best things that we have purchased as a commission board outside of the actual employees themselves. And then you look at, all the money that has been put towards first responders like EMS, our EMS Emergency Medical Services Program. Basically our ambulances have been around a little bit longer than a year. So you put all that together and you say, hey, the city commission is spending their money on the safety of the individuals, which is the number one job of a small local government. So we've spent our money in the right places. We've had the foresight from our city manager as far as being frugal and acquiring what we need when we need it at a great price before it is, costs a lot more down the road. So I say with those two things and being, physically conservative as a board for the most part, I think we're in a good spot looking into next year when we set our new budget in July. That there's always ways where you can save money, and it gets down to the point of Kenny saying, cut your lights off when you're not there, almost like my mom and dad did when I was in the house, and not wasting any energy and electricity. And you think, how much is a light going to save? Well, it's going to save a lot, but it's the culture and the attitude that really he embeds throughout City Hall and all the other departments that really rubs off on everyone.
Yeah, and I think so much can be said for who's at the top and the example that they set. if you've got somebody who doesn't mind, doesn't watch the spending, who's kind of careless and reckless with the government's dollars, whatever branch of government it might be, but especially on the local, other people seem to imitate a lot what the leadership does. And I think you've already hit that pretty much nail on the head already this morning. And I'm going to guess that there's not very many people in this whole country that set a better example, really, in that sort of thing than Kenny Martin.
No, I think he's been the city manager for 13 years, probably close to going on 14. And you look around the Middle Tennessee area, Coleman. You don't have to look far. Most last 2, 3, 4 years, sometimes maybe a second contract. Not Kenny Martin. He does a great job of keeping the peace, leading by example, doing a good job, again, as the city manager of acquiring that land. He's also economic development director, so he wears many hats. He leads by example, not afraid to pick up trash, and always conscious of the, let's say, the cosmetics of the city, making sure it's clean. So when you have a prospective client, I know we're up against the break, like a Costco, BJ's Wholesale, we're putting our best foot forward. And I tell you what, it's an example. It's an example of an elected body, and it's an example of a city manager that a lot of cities should emulate, because consistency over time, it absolutely wins, and that's what we have here in Mount Juliet. And I wouldn't want to work for any other boss than Kenny Martin.
All right, Justin Beasley is my guest, and we'll talk more after we go to our break. Our program brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways, and it's all brought to you by Bates Ford. Get a battery installed on most vehicles, $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still limping along down through here on 65 southbound, just past Trinity Lane. We did have an earlier wreck in the area there of the North Loop with all that traffic headed over towards Metro Center right now on 65 southbound coming across the Cumberland River Bridge. It's still heavy as it loads up on 24 westbound around 840 coming out of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County headed up through the Antioch area. When you need dependable roofing, roof repairs, roof inspection, anything with your roof, call Independent Roofing Specialist. Check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The refreshing cool after coming in from a hot summer day. The perfect temperature to kick off your shoes and relax with a good book. When the weather heats up, a new Rheem AC system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
And we continue here on this Tuesday morning. Again, our program is brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and on pretty much alternate Tuesdays, we feature the city of Mount Juliet, second and fourth. When there's a fifth Tuesday in the month, well, we just do something else. But Justin, there's been a time or two when the calendar worked out for you to come on the fifth Tuesday, and we did something else on the fourth. But we cross that bridge when we get to it. But again, good morning, and tell us more.
Good morning, Coleman. Yeah, I think another thing that I'd like to talk about this morning, if you don't mind, is our City of Mount Juliet musical Christmas parade coming up on Saturday. That is December 14th. It'll start at 11 a.m. We're going to start from West Wilson Middle School. I said it on this program, I think, a couple of visits back. This is the way it used to be before the school got hit by the tornado. Since my time here, 3 years, a cup of coffee is barely warm for the city. We've always, started from the Little League Park. Well, this year, we're starting from West Wilson. We're going to go all the way to Woodridge, where people are going to depart. And, again, 11 o'clock, a musical theme this year. We're going to have our choir teachers from all the schools in the city of Mount Juliet, within the school system in our city limits, going to come and be our grand marshals, along with our 5 oldest businesses in the city. And it's just going to be a great time. Really our messaging this week, and that's because we remember so vividly the parade last year. We had, I think, 12 emergency medical service calls or of that nature within that time frame of the actual parade. And that's a lot. in that time frame, and you look at, North Mount Juliet Road being a major thoroughfare to get to and from a lot of places, it made it difficult to get to calls with people on the side of the road. So our messaging this week on our social media, in person, and on Coleman Walker this morning is really for the participants to hand out the candy, for the students and the kids to stay on the sidewalk, to stay off the street. Not listen. We know kids are kids. It's not going to be perfect, but we really need the parents' help to do this just so we can make sure we get to those medical calls, and so everybody in the parade, as far as participants, stay safe. Again, as I said earlier with Kenny Martin, he said it a lot. Safety is our number one priority, and it's going to be that way on Saturday. So if you can, help me broadcast that message to the uttermost ends of the earth, because we really want everybody to be safe and have a good time and leave there healthy.
And what's the time again for the parade?
Parade will start at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. From West Wilson Middle School, go all the way to Woodridge, and then the parade will end. We'll have a lot of cool floats. Last year, I think we had almost 100, and I imagine we have the same amount this year. We're praying for good weather like any other time with a big event.
Well, and again, the safety thing here, you're saying you're going to try to hand the candy rather than throw it. Is that the message?
That's what we're encouraging people to do. Obviously, you can't make them do anything. It's going to be hard to enforce that with so many floats, but just I think the big thing is going to be parents trying to rally the troops, the kids, to stay on the sidewalk and not on the street for a number of reasons. And I think it'll go good. I think it will, Coleman, especially with a strong emphasis on that and reinforcing it as much as we can.
Approximately how much time frame we talking here? You said 11 o'clock, I believe, it starts.
Usually ends about 12:30 or 1 o'clock, especially after the first float goes, and by the time the last float ends, I'd say about an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's a long parade. It's a lot of participants. It's a lot of ground to cover. It's a fun parade, Coleman. I encourage you to come. I know Lebanon had theirs a couple of weeks ago, and theirs was fantastic. I say ours is pretty good too, Coleman.
Well, you might be a little prejudiced, but we understand.
I'm absolutely all Mount Juliet. You know that. I don't hide that.
What else do we need to talk about?
Our Christmas tree lighting, I don't know if I mentioned that on our last visit. We have a new Christmas tree behind the clock tower there by Vintage Station North, across from the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. It looks fantastic. Seth Wharton with Get Motivated put that bad boy up along with Rocky Lee, and it stays lit. It's beautiful as can be, and we moved that Christmas tree lighting up so we could light the tree a lot longer, and I'd say that we're getting rave reviews, a lot of compliments. People are loving it. I know I am. We included it in one of our Shop Local videos to encourage people to shop local, and I guess that's what I would continue to say, too. You know, I'm getting good reports from businesses that they've had some good Black Fridays, good Small Business Saturdays. If you're like me and have not done your first lick of Christmas shopping, continue to shop local. Start shopping local within the city of Mount Juliet. You keep that dream alive for that individual business owner. You get those sales tax dollars to come right back in to your system to improve your parks, your roads, your first responders. And you get better quality customer service when you know the person and you get to know the owner. I know we all love Amazon and its convenience, but show some love to our local small business owners, too. They're special people that make Mount Juliet special with the way that they offer those unique gift shops and boutiques. So let's do it big, Mount Juliet. Let's spend a lot of money. Let's have a good Christmas.
Well, one of the things I would add to that, when somebody decides to go into business, and especially if it's a sort of what we call a mom and pop operation where there's really not a lot of strings attached to some corporate entity. You just you go into business, you hang your shingle out there. There is no guarantee that you're going to be successful, and most of the times they do depend on the local. Their clientele is local. They're the people who either make or break them, actually, and I think it takes a lot of courage a lot of intestinal fortitude, or however you want to say it, just to go into business for yourself, and then you are kind of at the mercy of the local people. Hopefully, you do a good job, and you know that old saying about if you build a better mousetrap, the world's going to be the path to your door, and that's true to an extent. But I just like when somebody sticks their neck out, maybe goes into debt to start a business, and with no guarantees. If you can help them, especially in the local area, it helps us all.
Coleman, I could have said it better. Every time I leave a small business owner, usually with Jennifer Hamlin, our development service director, we get in the car and I say, I couldn't do that. I don't have the boldness. I don't have the courage to stick my neck out like that and to bet on myself. I'm fine with my 9 to 5, and that's why I love these business owners, because they have something that I don't have. That's why we try to promote the heck out of them on our social medias, because a lot of people don't know that they're there, whether it be people that have lived here for a while or people that have just moved here. So, yes, it takes great boldness to open up that business, and you would not believe the amount of issues they have to deal with that you would never think, whether it be on the legal side, whether it be just the natural economy, the workforce. You know, it's hard to get young kids to work these days, and for them to do all of that and to manage a successful business, they're far smarter, far more intelligent, far braver than I am, and I just give kudos to them. So that's really why we want our business owners to succeed, is because of the investment that they've made in themselves and the investment they made in the city. Because, you know, Mount Juliet's got that charm, just like Lebanon. You have these unique gift shops, and if you want them here and you want them to stay here, we got to patronize them. That's the bottom line, Coleman, and I think you said it best with what you said.
Well, and one other thing too, when you're needing a sponsorship for whatever you might be doing, when a school needs somebody to sponsor an event or to contribute a few dollars for whatever it is, the ones who are local are the brunt of that fundraiser or that giving. These bigger outfits, the box stores and all of that, usually have some manager who doesn't have full liberty to do a lot of that. That generally speaking, it's not a total rule, but your local mom and pop operations are the ones who carry the brunt of helping school fundraising, Little League, Babe Ruth, football, basketball programs, all of that. So I think we can't. I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but maybe we can't beat the drum too much for local and small business.
I don't think you can, Coleman. And again, you know the owner, you know the person, you know the customer service. You're going to get that better than you are an online shopping experience. And listen, I'm not naive to think that even small business owners and those that shop local don't occasionally purchase something online. I'm not saying that it's evil. I'm just saying if you can make a purchase here instead of somewhere else, I don't think you can put a price tag on how meaningful it is to that business owner. If I know the business owners here well, and I think I do, it means the world to them for you to come in their shop and to tell other people about it. And in fact, one of our slogans this year is shop local, share social. You know, I can buy as many products as I want inside the city limits, but if I buy one and then I put it on Facebook, hey, look at this that I got from this boutique, look how cute it is, that might encourage a neighbor or somebody in my neighborhood or a family member or a friend to go purchase that for somebody else. So basically, you're using your platform to promote them as a friend to other people, and I just think it's the way you market online these days, and that's what we're trying to encourage here in the city of Mount Juliet, just so people can know the products that are out there that they can buy. And I think it's working this season. I think a lot of people are shopping local. It's usually our biggest sales tax month, obviously because Christmas is on the 25th, and we just hope people go out and support these local businesses. It means the world to them, Coleman. You know that.
All right, we've got about a minute and a half. As you look at the rest of December, anything that we need to mention quickly before you go this morning? You're not shutting government down, but there's not a whole lot after last night's meeting, I guess, but just to kind of wait till the 1st of January.
Correct. And the 24th and the 25th, if I'm not mistaken, are, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Obviously, City Hall will be closed. City offices will be closed. So if you have any bills to pay or any business to do, I would encourage you to get it done this week or next week if you want to get that achieved and leave little to no wiggle room. So don't do like me. Don't wait till your last second. Go ahead and get out in front of it.
Well,
leave early this morning if you're listening.
Yeah, our police and fire and other emergency people don't get much time off, but generally government does have a few more days, and that's nice, a reward for doing a good job, let's call it. But Justin, that takes care of our time this morning. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time, and thank you so much.
Hey, Merry Christmas to all your staff. We appreciate you more than you know, Coleman.
All right, and that is part one of Coleman and Company, and of course, it's brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. We've got more. Hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways, and it's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower. 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated #1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We've definitely had our share of accidents already out here on 24 coming through Antioch. Just to be on the safe side as you leave Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, head towards Nashville. Give yourself extra time on 24 passing Bell Road. There's still some volume, 65 south in Millersville right now, coming down through that section of Sumner County. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, anything happening with your roof, call Independent Roofing Specialist. Just check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
New updates from the Wilson Central FFA chapter. This is Jordan Davis, here to share with you our chapter's plans for the coming months. Make sure to wish our ag sales team luck as they compete later today, December 10th. This Thursday, December 12th, Christmas in the Glade will be held at Wilson Central, and our chapter will be providing a petting zoo for the kids attending. Finally, our chapter is excited to announce that we will be hosting the Miss Rising Sun FFA pageant February 22nd, with more details to come. Don't forget to keep up with our chapter on Instagram and Facebook, and have a great day.
Where a patient starts their cancer care matters. And here, that means Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, Wilson County. It's Vanderbilt level care without making the drive to Nashville. From screening to diagnosis to treatment and recovery, patients can get all the care they need right here close to home. So now, having the best care team and most advanced treatment is closer than ever. Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, making cancer care personal.
We'll have cloudy skies today with a chance of rain showers in the morning. Highs will be around 60. Cloudy tonight, lows in the lower 30s. And then partly cloudy on our Wednesday, highs in the lower 40s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your severe view forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. It's Tuesday. We always look forward to Tuesdays because most of the time Sean Dozier is right here to talk about Hearthside, and today is no exception. Sean is the Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, and good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Always good to see you.
Well,
good
it's
to
always
hear your voice.
good to be here. And
I love for us to talk about Hearthside.
Well, I do too. You know, I love to talk about Hearthside. That's why I get paid to talk about Hearthside. But I really enjoy Hearthside. You know, we've had a lot of visitors over the past several days as people are coming in to visit loved ones. And we had a nice open house last Thursday night that many people came to and saw our residents. So it's just been a nice couple of days. And as we progress toward Christmas and the holidays, we'll have more and more visitors. We'll have carolers come out. Sunday night, we had some folks from College Hills come out and sing to our residents. And we'll have people from all different churches and denominations come out and visit, and we've even got the Mormons coming out to sing to us one evening. So I tell you what, we're open to everybody, and we just welcome everybody, and our residents love to have visitors. And as I said last week, this is a really great time to stop by an assisted living or a nursing home or an independent living and see somebody you haven't seen in a while. They love to have those visits, whether it's just 20, 30 minutes. It makes a world of difference. So just encourage folks as they're in the holiday spirit, as they're giving, as they're shopping, as they're doing all the things we do during the holidays, to stop by and see a resident in one of these communities, because it would make their whole year.
Well, Hearthside means a lot to a lot of people. I mean, for you, it's employment, but even with you, it's more than a job.
It really is. You know, we really are a ministry at heart. It started out that way, and I've taken that to heart. We really do put people over profits, and we make sure our residents have what they need. You know, there's not a day that goes by that I don't say yes to something, because we really want to make sure our residents are comfortable, safe, and secure. That was the quote from Dr. Morris when we first started in 1994, and I want to continue that tradition. And I think people really appreciate it. I know the families do. I know the residents do. I know the community does. You know, we don't get a lot of complaints. You know, a lot of times those wonderful state officials will show up and have a complaint that they're investigating. And since I've been there, we haven't had one of those. And I want to keep those away. And of course, we've had 2 surveys in the past 3 years that we've had no deficiencies. So all that goes to say is we have a great staff that does a great job every single day taking care of our residents. And while we do make mistakes every once in a while, we try to fix those mistakes quickly. And one of our key values is communication. So if there's something that needs to be fixed, we try to get it done quickly.
Well, we know that in the retirement community there is a long waiting list.
And it keeps growing.
How about your assisted?
I've added 2 more this week to the list, and we do have a home that has opened up, so I'll be making a call here pretty soon once we get the house ready, and I'm excited about making that phone call. And when I make that phone call, these folks have been waiting probably 5 years, so I look forward to making that phone call once we get it ready. But yeah, the retirement community was a great idea, and it really supports the assisted living, and we're able to do a lot of things in the assisted living, and we're going to be able to do a lot of things with the assisted living because of that wonderful retirement community. And I'm hoping to add a couple more houses as well in the future. And I'm just that retirement community has been a blessing.
Well, yeah, and we don't really need to say more. I guess it is. It's probably time for a Hearthside hello.
Well, Sue Vanetta stopped by the office last week, and was visiting somebody in our community, and I hadn't seen Sue in a while, so I wanted to say hello to Sue Vanetta. She's my Hearthside hello.
All right. Well.
You know Sue very well.
Even Sue comes to visit friends at Hearthside.
That's right. Well, thanks, Coleman. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
Right. We hope to do it again next Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Bye.
That is Sean Dozier, Executive Director, Hearthside Senior Living. You remember their phone number, 615-443-1994, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North, right here in Lebanon. We are 22 and a half before the hour, and Brian Hutto is my guest this morning. Mr. Hutto, Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District. And good morning.
Morning, Coleman. How are you?
I am doing well. Now, before we go further, if you don't mind, let me do this. I meant to, and I got distracted a while ago with Justin Beasley, and I just wanted to be sure I do this before the day ends here. The 30th annual Christmas Toy Train Show is this Saturday, December 14th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the James E. Ward Ag Center, known as the Wilson County Fairgrounds. It's going to be in the Made in Tennessee building, and sponsored by the Music City chapter of the Train Collectors Association. And it features an operating train outlet, hard-to-find parts, dealers from across the Southeast, door prizes, drawing for Lionel train sets for children 12 and under, and refreshments, and free parking. Now, there is an $8 admission, cash only, $8 admission, and children 12 and under are free. And that is, again, the 30th Annual Christmas Toy Train Show this Saturday, December 14th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. All right, now that we've got that in, how are you?
I am great, Coleman. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Happy holidays. It's already here.
Yes.
It is
here.
I'm
just thinking this will be the last time this year for you to have your regular spot here, and when you come back, school will already be in session from the Christmas break.
From Christmas break, and it'll be 2025, Coleman. That was the other thing that struck me on the way in, going through the things that we wanted to share today. But yeah, I was going to say next time it'll be 2025.
Wow, time moves on. Well, what is going on? When have you had a board meeting?
So we had a board meeting last night, and Coleman,
we got plenty to talk about.
We always have plenty to talk about. You know that I've always got good things to share. But it's one of my favorite board meetings. It is primarily recognition, and so one of the things I do want to let folks know. So we've taken our board meetings on the road. It's the road show, and we're visiting schools. And that's where we're conducting our board meetings. And so it gives us an opportunity to spotlight that school. Mm-hmm. Plus, it makes it really easy for families if we're spotlighting kids. So last night, we had our meeting at Jones Brummett, and we got to spotlight their choir. They sang some Christmas songs to us. So I need to give a shout out to them. They were phenomenal. Miss Lundy is the music teacher out there, and she's got, I think, around 51 students that participate in our choir, which is after school. But they came and sang three Christmas songs for us. And then Miss Wood, the principal, she showcased a multicultural event they started last year, and really got to highlight the families that are involved in our school systems, and just a way to share and build community. Mm-hmm. So that's how we kicked the meeting off. And then from there, one of our highlights for our district, each year we do Friends of Education. So each school picks an individual, and it could be a parent, it could be a volunteer that really supports the work they do, and then a business that supports those schools. So we get to recognize those, and I'm not going to go through every name, but it's really cool to see, when you look out at the crowd, and it was a huge crowd, when you look out at all the people that are invested in our schools, it's really special, and we appreciate that.
Is this the newest school that you have?
Correct. Yes, sir. Jones Brummett opened in 2020, and it's a beautiful school. It's a beautiful campus. Upland Design was the architects for that, and so we encourage anybody. Well, you'll see it. It's right there on Hartman and Coles Ferry. Right. But it was nice to be able to be there last night.
Well, continue.
So, Coleman, I've been sitting on this since right before Thanksgiving. So this time of year is when we get back some of our state accolades, if you will. And I had mentioned before, we were deemed a level 5 district, which is 1 out of 5, 5 being the highest you can get for growth for our students. So that means a year's growth, you get a 3. If it's above a year, then it's a 4. If it's 2 years growth, it's a 5. So as a district, we were level 5. On top of that, we had 3 reward schools this year. And reward school is an accolade. They get a banner. We celebrate it. But it's a huge achievement, and that's Castle Heights, Byers Dowdy, and Coles Ferry reward schools. On top of that, sort of the icing to the cake is the state provides an exemplary district designation. Lebanon Special earned that. There were only 10 districts in the state of Tennessee that earned that distinction this year, and Lebanon Special is one of those. So,
well, congratulations.
We're thrilled, and kudos. It's we talk about it, all means all, and it takes every one of them. It takes the teachers, it takes the bus drivers, cafeteria workers, the aides. When you think of all the folks that go into that, and that distinction, it goes into performance, achievement, it goes into growth, it goes into attendance. Attendance is huge, and that's been an area we've been working on. When we came through COVID and came out of it, working back into a routine. Took a little time, but yeah, so we'll continue that celebration, but wanted to shout it out here to Lebanon Special, kudos, and we're thrilled for that.
Well, no doubt it is a team effort, and everybody pretty much has to be a part of this. I mean, the daily attendance, I'm sure, figures strongly in that. The grades, the learning, the whole 9 yards, as we say sometimes.
Oh, it's the whole 9 yards. And Coleman, we've got an instructional team, and our administrators, and you've probably heard before that some folks will say, well, we assess too much. and there's too many tests, and part of me might agree with that, but there's another part of me that understands if we provide an assessment, it's useful. We want to know where the child is, and then we want to intervene. So if Coleman's in third grade and he's struggling on some phonetic skills, we want to provide Coleman the opportunity to master those skills. And so,
And really, some of that you don't know if there's not some kind of testing or evaluation done.
That's correct. And so what we want to do, though, is we want to remove some of the stigma and the stress. We don't want a child to be upset because of how they're performed. If they did their best, that's their best.
Yeah.
We want to know what it is and then how to make a plan moving forward. And so we've got really sharp individuals that dig into those data. Every school has an academic data team, ADT is what we call that. And they sit down weekly in some instances, but with our group monthly just to pour in to all the metrics that we have and make a plan from it. So it's one thing to have it and talk about it. Where's the action piece come in? And so I do have to brag on, they do a great job with that.
Okay, this would be a good time to take a break. Brian Hutto, Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District, is here, and we'll have more in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Bates Ford. Low price tire guarantee on all tires every day, up to 30 days after the sale. There'll be any competitors' pricing on the tires they sell. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still trying to clean up a couple of ranks from earlier. Here's what we're seeing. Heavy traffic now on 24 westbound up through the Antioch area as you come in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, up through Antioch there around Bell Road. It's also crowded. 65 southbound at Trinity Lane is building pretty good. 65 south through Millersville. Prince's Hot Chicken has live entertainment on Wednesdays from 6 to 9 and karaoke at the Tanger location on Thursdays and Saturdays. Check out princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour. We thank you for listening each day, and thank you for joining us today for Coleman and Company. And of course, it wouldn't be much of a show if I didn't have my guests. And my guest here this morning, Mr. Hutto, is one of our regulars, which we certainly appreciate. Well, let's get back to more, I guess, from last night and what's happening in the Lebanon Special School District.
Sure, Coleman, as we mentioned before, and you hit it a little bit during the break, that exemplary distinction, it really goes back to we landed on the teachers, and we hire very good teachers and we support very good teachers, so just proud of the work they've done, and we'll continue this celebration tour, if you will, but definitely wanted to make sure folks knew about that.
But this does indicate, I think this indicates that the children, the school children in the special school district are getting a quality education. You're doing about the best that you can. You're being rewarded for excellence in education.
That's exactly right. And Coleman, it validates the work we do, because we're not sitting around, and I said this at the board meeting last night, anytime we have data pieces, we're not waiting on our state data to come in. We know pretty well where we're going to land because of the systems we have in place. And so it really lands again on those teachers. They have the information, and then they plan, and planning is huge. They plan for students to be successful, and we talk about this. We want school to be the best part of every kid's day. And that looks different for different students. They have different needs, and they do a stellar job making sure that happens so that they can thrive. So it's as I said in the break, it's a great place, and we're proud of them. Some business items we had last night, really excited about this one. So tenure is a process that teachers go through once they've accrued enough time in the district, and then the legislation changed several years ago. They have to achieve at certain levels their last 2 years of that time. So we granted tenure, the board approved tenure for 21 teachers last night. And if you look total, we're a smaller district. I mean, we're 4,600 kids, but 21 teachers, that's really impressive. It's kudos once again to the commitment that they've shown, because you see in the world we live in, people don't always stick in professions. They'll hop around, and thankfully for ours, they get invested and they stay, and then they perform. So we were excited to be able to do that.
Well, for those who might not understand tenure, what that really means, just take a minute and explain.
Sure. So tenure is, we used to think that tenure, once you got tenure, you're in.
Right.
You're in forever. And as time has progressed, legislation's changed. And so if you get tenure, then that means you're still held to the same standard. But it is a ceremonial, it is a piece of board action to say we identify that you've invested in this district, we identify that you've performed at a level, and we want to say, hey, you're here, and we're proud to have you. So I don't want to say it's ceremonial because there's work that goes into it, but it's a great opportunity for us. We bring them up into the board meeting, we congratulate them, we shake their hands, they get a certificate and some other accolades, but we're excited to be able to add that to our group.
And you said 21?
21 teachers, yes, sir. 21.
Right.
And that represents all of the schools that had those individuals in. Mm-hmm. So it's a good thing. Good. Excited about that. Couple of other items. So one of the things that we added this, and this is Coleman, we've talked about this I think every time, and I get asked about it daily, growth and construction. And so we initiated that conversation at the board meeting last night. Ms. Sadler-Gallagher and I, we talk daily, but we talk about growth and next steps at least several times a week. But we met a couple weeks ago with financial consultants for our district just to look at what's the process, and wanted Ms. Sadler-Gallagher to have that information. But then we're going to sit down with our construction managers and our architects and talk about what the process looks like. I think it's important for the board to have that time frame. And then what are our options? And Coleman, the big question with any construction is where's the funding? Yeah. And so that's the piece that we'll have to collectively think through and how we navigate, because our study we had done last year on our enrollment, we've met every marker. We did a beginning of year check. We just did another check just to see are those projections that they gave us, so they hold them true, and they do. So part of what I presented last night were the heat maps for where growth is within the city, and that heat map, the whole thing's lit up. And if you've driven around, Lebanon's a place to be, and we're excited about that. But with it comes some challenges.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Any more you can share on the progress here? Where and when?
Sure. Well, I couldn't put a date on it because, once again, it goes back to that funding mechanism. And being a special school district, we carry our own debt. I don't know that everyone understands that, and we could spend several shows on the funding apparatus for a special school district. But if we want to take on a build, it's kind of like if you bought another house. You've got to be able to afford that mortgage. We want to be judicious with our taxpayer dollars, and we don't want to overextend. So what we want to make sure the board has is what options are available. So does that look like addition? Does an addition at a building, is that feasible? We know Jones Brummett is set up for that. Would it be feasible at other campuses? And that's where our architects come into play. Another one that people, they kind of will bristle at would be zoning. Do you look at your zoning mechanism, and are there places where schools have some vacancies that could absorb some of this? I look at Sam Houston, popped in my head. Sam Houston is in a prime growth area, and your wife worked at Sam Houston, and it's a great building, and they're utilizing all the spaces. And so how do we free up some space? Because what we don't want to do is get to a point where our programming suffers, and we've always been good about our spaces and our class sizes especially, and so we want to look at those. So if off the top of your head you've got zoning, you've got additions, and then of course you've got new construction.
And the pupil to teacher ratio is a very important thing, which plays into this as well.
Oh, it's huge. The state mandates between the grade strands what the maximum class size is and what the average class size is. As a district, we've always have sought out to be below that. So we want to have that below 20 ratio in the elementary, lower if we can swing it. And then in the middle schools, it's 25, around that number. So it's critical. And you know, if you ever walked into a kindergarten class and it was full, you would understand why it's so important. I tell folks all the time, middle school and kindergarten, those are special educators to navigate those. So, yeah.
All right. Anything else? Have we covered most of the board meeting, or you got some more to talk about?
So do want to give folks a heads up. So we're taking our board meetings on the road, as I said. So our next meeting will be January 13th. It's going to be at Byers Dowdy Elementary at 6 p.m. If you're around, available, we're going to target or highlight our strategic plan at the January meeting. It's a new year, but it's also mid-year, so it's a good opportunity for the board and the district to showcase, and that's what I looked at it. I thought we've affectionately termed it the state of the district is what we'd like to land on. So if you're around and if you're in town, please stop by. We're going to share some interesting information. We'll continue this exemplary celebration as well, but so wanted to put that out there for folks to know as well.
All right. I'm wondering if you, before we wait to the very last minute here, if you've got the dates that school is going to be out for a break here, you want to share that?
Yeah, so next Friday, what is that date, the 19th?
That sounds right.
Yeah, next Friday, the 19th, is half-day, 2-hour day for students, and then they'll be out until, I should have written that down, they'll be out until January. They return on the 3rd. So we'll say the 19th, that's the 20th, I'm sorry. December 20th is 2-hour day, and then they return on January the 3rd. Now, January 3rd is a Friday, so some folks will, why are you bringing them back on a Friday? We can once again spend an exorbitant amount of time on school calendars. You have 180 days, you get X number of half days, you have to work all those days in. So students will return on a Friday, which for schools, that really works out well, because what else happens after Christmas? We'll get an influx of new students.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that day to get everyone in, get them settled. If we have to make bus route adjustments or any of those things, we can get that ironed out, and then we'll be ready to go that next Monday.
You go back one day there and got the whole weekend to have a better Monday.
There we go. That's exactly right. So we'll get them in, we'll get them fed, get them in the right classes, and then we'll be full tilt that next Monday.
Yeah. All right. Anything else from last night?
I need to highlight this. So retention and longevity bonuses. Coleman, I think last spring when we talked about budget, one of the things we wanted to make sure is that compensation for our teachers has always been huge. We pay well and we want to stay above. I think over the last 2 years, we've given them a 9% raise. So we did 6% 2 years ago. We did 3% this year. One of the things we wanted to plug in there was we want to keep folks and we want to encourage them to stay. So for our teachers that have been with the district for 11 years, they got a $1,000 check last week. For teachers that have been with the district for 21 plus years, they got a $1,500 check. So our board has, and you know this, has always put a premium on taking care of teachers. Kudos to our HR team for getting that worked out. But yeah, that was a pleasant surprise, and I can tell you it was very much appreciated, and I heard that often. So we're glad to do that.
No doubt it would be, but the surprise element, no doubt, works pretty well there too. If this was kind of kept on the quiet until you're ready to announce it, nobody knew. What a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was. We mentioned, of course, it was a part of the budget process, which is public, but the details or the timing, we really had to work with payroll, and we wanted to figure out when that, and it made the most sense to do it now. Plus, right before the holidays, everybody can use a little extra during this time of year because things are expensive. Coleman, everywhere.
Yeah, that's something you're having to face. Some of the very basic necessities cost more, and you probably didn't budget that much when you were budgeting for the year. So,
well, case in point, we had an HVAC unit at Walter J. Baird go down. Lightning potentially ran in on it. It'll land in the maintenance budget, but it's $300,000 unit. This isn't what you go to Home Depot and purchase. And so, but once again, the board planning ahead and being judicious with funds, we're able to take care of that. That's what we have a fund balance for. But being able to take care of the teachers in this way, and to your point, a little surprise, let them know that it's coming, and so they were thrilled to have that.
All right, we've got about 2 minutes, Brian. What else is on your mind?
So 2 minutes, once again, January 13th, our next board meeting, 6 p.m. at Byers Dowdy. We're going to talk about some growth options, construction options, also going to dig into the strategic plan for the district, and this is just the update, the annual portion of that. But lots of good things happening. We want to wish everybody a happy holiday, and want to brag before we head out. The Enough is Enough presentation that took place last Thursday at Wilson County Schools. Homeland Security put that on. Really thankful for Wilson County Schools partnering with us on that. We had a good turnout, and those families left with good information on internet safety and taking care of their child.
Yeah, and we've had several people to mention that. Mr. Luttrell, one, and 2 or 3 others, I think. And some of the things that we were told were going to be brought out there, it's some of it's kind of frightening.
It's really frightening.
People need to be aware.
They do, and that's the point of the presentation is families, for the most part, they don't know what they don't know, and that's us as well, Coleman. And so Homeland Security does a good job of saying, this is what's out there, this is what your child potentially has access to. Here are the things that you can do to keep them safe. And that notion, we always used to worry about the stranger, stranger danger, and the stranger on the playground, and that's somebody you could see. In the world we live at, that stranger danger, they won't see them. They could be anywhere at any time in a digital format, and so we want folks to know that. So we want to keep them safe.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us today. We'll see you in January, and have a good one.
You too. Thank you, Coleman.
Brian Hutto, Director of Schools, Lebanon Special School District, and that's it for Tuesday. Hope you join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.